Welcome to our Thursday live session. My name is Ashani Yapa. I'm a registered migration agent from Sirus Migration. We are all about Australian immigration and visas that we are discussing in the session today. Before I begin the session, I just want to remind you, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so, because we try our best to get the latest immigration news coming to you in YouTube videos, as well as our videos going on Facebook. So if you haven't liked our Facebook page, please do so. That way you can stay up to date with the Australian immigration news. It is key to getting Australian permanent residency is to be updated with what's happening and what's in demand, that kind of information. If you're ready early enough, securing Australian permanent residency, it is not that difficult. Right, so let's look at the topics that we are going to be discussing today. Our session will run for about 20 minutes today. It's a shorter session, so this is to let you know that if you have any questions, it is time for you to type in all your questions. I will try my best to answer them in the live session. If not, I will get back to you in an email, or one of our team will. So let's look at any changes to any recent changes that's happened. Since our last session, there hasn't been too many changes, but there has been a change that everybody was waiting for: the work experience requirement for employer-nominated work visa to reduce from 2 years to 1 year. But that change did not happen as predicted on 23rd of November. And the explanation given by Mia about this change is because there is a new visa coming to replace the current TSS visa called Skill in Demand visa. We've talked about this visa in the past as well, and we were hoping this new change will happen again on 23rd of November, which did not happen. So they're saying the work experience 1 year requirement will come in combined with the new subclass 482 or the TSS visa, and they're predicting that to happen still end of this year, which we have about another 1 month and a few days. So big news we are expecting towards the end of the year, and whether we are on holiday or whether we are working, we'll be the first to get to you to let you know about the new changes or the new visa and how you can benefit from that visa. All right, talking about visas, let's look at our some of the recent visa grants. We have had many grants. Actually, it's really good to see that some of the work visas coming along as well, and we have some student visa grants from Cambodia and from India, from Nepal, from Sri Lanka. I can see from the flag. So this is good. We are actually an international company, which means we have clients from all over the world getting visas through us. And student visas are coming along, which is really good. And then we have some subclass 190s or state nomination visas that came through. And we have had many 482 visa applications grants. I think we've only got 1 or 2 on screen, but we have had many grants, which is again another good news. We were waiting for a while without any employer-nominated visa grants. We had nominations approved, but the visas were not there. But finally now we are seeing some 482 grants actually, which is not here. I have had some grants today as well, which we didn't have time to prepare for this session, but it's good news. Subclass 482 and 186 visas have started to come as well. Right. We are expanding to New Zealand. So we can right now help you with New Zealand education inquiries, and from next year, from January, we can help you with New Zealand migration inquiries as well. So very excited time for Sirus Migration. Together with our 20th of anniversary to celebrate, we are coming to you with so we can help you with New Zealand. New Zealand immigration is very interesting. It's easy yet complicated. So I'm excited to talk to you about New Zealand from next year as well. Right, so GTI, I would like to talk about GTI a little bit. Global talent independent visas have been, again, not the visas, the invitations have been a bit slow. The reason being, I feel like this is not official. I feel like it is slow because this GTI visa also going to get integrated with business talent. As you all know, subclass 188 business visas are not active right now. They're completely abolishing that 188 visas. They're just granting the few 188 applications that was lodged, which is still happening, but future 188s have completely stopped, and immigration is talking about combining the business talent visa with the global talent visa. I feel like that's why the global talent invitations have slowed down a little bit, but we just have to wait and see what's happening with these invitations. Now that we talk about that, let me quickly go through our GTI target sectors. As you all know, GTI started a few years ago. At that point, it was quite easy. Anyone who has completed a PhD in one of these sectors could apply for GTI and they would get an invitation. Anyone who would have the high income threshold could apply, or anyone who has the potential for high income threshold could apply and they could get GTI. But GTI has come a long way in this short period of time that they were open. They went through so much changes. Right now, what I am seeing, unless you're earning the high income threshold, or you have a really good chance or a job offer from Australia to show that you can earn the high income threshold, and you're one of the top tier management level, or you're someone with patents, awards, you have participated in many publications, and you have participated in many conferences. If you're not that kind of if you don't have that kind of caliber, I think applying for GTI right now, it's not really worth it. But saying that, applying for a GTI expression of interest doesn't cost you anything. It is free, and if you don't get invited, they will tell you that your EOI is unsuccessful. But still, to make sure that we don't bombard the processing team with too many unnecessary EOIs, it is really good idea to talk to a migration agent to see whether they believe that you have the potential to get an invitation. If they believe you have a chance to get an invitation, definitely you should try. If not, there are many other pathways that you can look into rather than trying to apply for a GTI EOI. Now we are talking about pathways. Let's quickly look at the employer sponsorships. This is again our main areas of visas that we are handling. Subclass 482, subclass 186, subclass 494, they are all employer nominated visas. The requirement for that is for you to have an Australian employer who's either willing to give you a job, or you're already working for this employer. And this employer can maintain to give you this job for another year or 2 years depending on their plans, and your occupation is on the medium to long term list or short term list or regional occupation list, and you have a qualification and work experience, then you're eligible to apply for, there are a few other eligibility minor criteria as well. As long as you can meet these criteria, then you're eligible to apply for these one of these work visas. We have done many videos about these work visas and any questions you can have, because this is a visa that is worth trying. That's what I believe. So if you believe, if you're one of them, to apply for an employer nominated visa, if you have the slightest chance to talk to your employer to see whether there's potential to apply for employer nominated visa through their business, definitely get in touch with a migration agent and let's see whether you have the potential. Right, so let's talk about some of the questions that we have had during the last few days. So someone is asking, please discuss about 482 aged care sector visa, what needs to be submitted to the visa office other than the skill assessment. It's a very good question. It's a question that we get asked so many times. Subclass 482 aged care sector can only be applied if there is an aged care that is eligible to nominate you. So most of the aged cares are not eligible because they have not got that labor agreement in place. Only the aged cares that have the labor agreement, or only the aged cares that is in a Dharma area can be eligible to nominate you for 482 right now. So obviously, to answer this question, apart from the skill assessment, we need so many other things that we need to submit, like your work experience, your qualification, the employment offer letter, and many other documents from the employer for the immigration. And I want to warn people, please be aware that we can see some scams going as well, especially offshore in countries like Sri Lanka. People are getting money from these aged care workers who are interested in coming to Australia through these visas, promising that we will get you a visa through 482. But I just want to tell you that it's not that simple. Like you can't apply without an employer's offer letter. So be mindful and don't pay anyone just to apply for a aged care work visa through aged care. Just don't pay them any money without knowing what you're getting into. Right. Okay, let's look at some other questions that we have had. So someone is asking if they're a diesel motor mechanic, can we apply to Australia? Diesel motor mechanic is a good occupation that is in the medium to long term list. And yes, there are few ways you can apply to Australia, through skill migration or through employer nominated visa. Again, finding an employer who's willing to give a job can really help. And then there is another question, someone asking about subclass 186 TRT. What is the English requirement for the department? So as you know, subclass 186 TRT, it is permanent residency through temporary resident transition stream, which is PR. So for any permanent residency, the dependent needs to show that they have at least functional English. So it's again a really good question. If the dependent can't prove English, they can pay for the second installment, which comes to about, I think, 4,900 somewhere there. If they're willing to pay that, they don't need to do English. But if you are planning to do English, then you need at least functional English for the dependent. This is for 186, any permanent residency, 190 or any permanent residency. Is PTE or IELTS for employer sponsor category? Sanjeevani, we can use both PTE and IELTS for employer sponsor category, and depending on whether your occupation's on the short term list or medium term list, the requirement changes as well. So if your occupation's on the medium to long term list, you need 5 in each band. If it's in the short term list, you only need 4.5 and 5 overall. Alright, so could you please let us know the requirements and documentation for 482 to 186 transition? They mentioned 182, but I'm pretty sure they mean 186. The requirements are very simple. You need to be working for your employer for 2 years under the 482. So you need to prove that you have work experience, you have pay slips, employment reference letters, taxation documents for 2 years. And you need 6 English, competent English, which is 6 in each band IELTS or 50 each in PTE to transition from 482 to a 186. And people are now requesting me to do a video on 186 TR3 stream. Definitely I will do that in the upcoming weeks. Someone is asking if you don't need a nomination for a 186. So that is not true. If you are applying for 186 under direct entry or TRT, it doesn't matter. You still need an employer's nomination. So say you have to go through the same process. That hasn't changed in years. And again, people are requesting me to do videos in Sri Lankan, I believe, for parent visa, and they're asking whether we do parent visas. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, we handle all Australian visas. So that's the questions that we have so far. Let's look at our partner visas. Okay, that's another area of visas that we get many inquiries for. With partner visas, what I want to tell everyone is, partner visa, don't get it confused with dependent visa. A partner visa is for Australian citizens, permanent residents, or eligible New Zealanders. If they have any of these residencies, then they are eligible to apply for a partner visa for their overseas partners. There's two main criteria that you have to meet. You have to either be in a de facto relationship, which means an exclusive relationship for 12 months, preferably living together. If not living together, we need to prove why they're not living together. Or you need to be married or have your relationship registered. If you have done that, then you don't have that 12 months living together requirement. For example, if you met someone, fell in love the first day and got married after 1 month, you are eligible to you have met the basic criteria eligibility to apply for partner visa. But partner visas can go way beyond that basic eligibility, because we need to convince the department that even though you meet the basic eligibility, you keep meeting the requirement throughout your partner visa process, your relationship evidence throughout the partner visa process. When I say throughout the partner visa process, that is because Australian partner visas, you need to be, it takes about 12 months or a little bit more right now, even close to 2 years for the process. So we lodge an application and then we have to wait. You go on to sort of like a wait list before the case officer opens the file, and then you wait. During that waiting period, what we do, we keep providing the department with relationship updates. So if you travel together, if you bought property, or if you've got a car together, or even if you go to dinner with friends or some other travel, whatever the evidence that you collect, if we need to keep updating the department. Well, that's what we do at least. Every 2 months or so, we keep updating the department with these latest updates. That way, when the case officer opens the file in 1 year or 2 years, then they can see that from applying for the visa until all the way, their relationship kept developing. There are new updates of the relationship, so they know that the information they don't need to just rely on the information that we provided to them over a year ago or nearly 2 years ago. They have the most up-to-date information. So that is about the partner visa. If you believe you're eligible for an Australian partner visa, then get in touch with a migration agent again. As I said, I think it's a good idea to get a migration agent involved with a partner visa, simply because of the cost involved. Partner visa application costs $9,095 right now, and if the visa is refused, then you're going to lose that money, plus you have to pay another $3,600 or somewhere there for ART, administrative review tribunal, to prove that you had a genuine case even though it's refused. So these costly visas, sometimes it's a good idea to get a migration agent involved. Right, since we are having a shorter live session this week, and I have answered some of your questions as well, please keep sending us questions. Make sure that all your immigration questions gets answered, so that way you stay up to date with the latest. I've actually got one more question that I'll quickly answer before I go. We are applying under 858 visa category. Is it okay to use Seek site to get an employer? Yeah, it is okay to use Seek, or it is okay to use LinkedIn or any site to find that you are getting the high income threshold. Yeah, it's fine. All right, is it 858? 858 is the global talent, and you are asking about employer category earlier. So I don't know which visa you mean, but if you're talking about GTI, then it is fine to use Seek. Right. I think that's it for today, and I think we will be joining you one last time before the holiday starts, and after that we will be seeing you in January. But I do want to tell you that subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page. That way, even during the holidays, if we hear any newsworthy information from Department of Home Affairs, we will definitely be in touch with you to let you know. Thank you so much for listening in today, and have a safe 2 weeks, and see you again in 2 weeks.